all wondering what I'm planning to do with the balloons. Well, actually it's not the balloons you're supposed to look at, but the different colors. Isn't it amazing what variety of colors we can see every day? Well, this luck isn't given to everyone. Think about people with color blindness. In general, there are two types of color blindness. We have red-green color blindness and blue-yellow color blindness. Now in this presentation we're going to talk about red-green color blindness because it is more common. Namely, statistics show that 1 out of 12 men are red-green colorblind, and for women, on the contrary, this is only 1 out of 200. Now, if during this presentation you will have any questions, please do not hesitate to interrupt. To have a clear vision on what people with red-green color blindness can see, we'll start with the eye. So the normal eye is sensitive for 3 basic colors: red, green, and blue. Now, people with color blindness are less sensitive or even totally insensitive for one or multiple of these basic colors. So people with red-green color blindness will be insensitive for red or green, and that's why they have a hard time separating those two colors. However, it is extremely important that you realize that people with red-green color blindness are not blind for red nor green. Now, how is that possible? Let's take a look at the following figure. So on the left we see a red area, on the right we see a graph with on the y-axis the intensity of colors and on the x-axis the wavelength. Now basically it shows us which part of energy the individual wavelengths, or with other words the individual colors, have in this red color. And we can see that the color red consists of multiple colors, so even colors that a person with red-green color blindness can see. So when we look at wavelength 585, we can see that there is a climb of intensity, and when we look at wavelength 600, we can see that almost 50% of this type of color red consists of green. So therefore, it's possible that people with red-green color blindness with an insensitivity for red can actually see red as green, or even as yellow, depending on the different wavelengths. Now we could do this for any color existing, but eventually we'd always come to the same conclusion. Namely, red-green colorblind people can see color, but just not the right color. And this is also the principle on what colorblind tests are based on. So tests for colorblindness are Ishihara tests called. And so we're going to look at test 2 first. So in test 2, you're supposed to see number 25. Everyone sees that, colorblind people, non-colorblind people. So if you don't see that, there's something seriously wrong. But in the first test, this is only what normal people can see. So normal people see number 8, and people with red-green color blindness can't see number 8. Why is that? Number 8 is built out of dots of different types of green, and that number is surrounded by dots of different types of red. And because they have a hard time separating those two colors, they won't see a number. Now, we still haven't figured out yet why it is more common with men than with women. Think about our statistic. 1 out of 12 men versus 1 out of 200 women. Now, to explain that, we have to look on the level of genetics. Color blindness is an X-bound recessive disorder. So X-bound means that the gene for color blindness is located on the X chromosome. Recessive means that the gene will be expressed only if there are 2 identical copies present on the X chromosome for a female, or 1 copy present on the X chromosome for a male. Why is there a difference? Simply because a female has 2 X chromosomes normally, and the male has 1 X chromosome and 1 Y chromosome. So when we look at this example, so it's a figure which shows us a fictive family tree for red-green color blindness. The circles represent females, the squares represent males. Uncolored squares and circles are unaffected males and females, so they are not colorblind. Colored squares are affected males, so they are colorblind, and they can pass it through to their son or their daughter. And a circle with a dot in the middle is a female who carries the mutation. So that means that she has the mutation, but she is not colorblind, but she can pass it through to the next generation.